admire is Temi Salami. This lady is young, she's active, and she's in everybody's face. Now, why is it that every one of us we are scared of social media? Why are we not in everybody's face too? I'm definitely sure I will never people in my guest list, right? They are not people that are not intellectual. So people here, why are we not in everybody's face? Why are you not telling people that's what you're doing? So people that actually want to study, want to become somebody, right? And not rely on the effort. I'm not saying that you cannot do social media. As a matter of fact, you can earn your own money and like you can be a normal professional person and also earn money on social media. But let us also try as much as possible to be in everybody's face so that these people will not decay the internet. And the unfortunate is that our government is not helping. How many of us notice that whenever you're in a site or you're watching YouTube, no, not YouTube, you're watching maybe on Instagram, you're always seeing ad on either R-rated team, low, bet Nigeria, and so on and so forth. You have never seen like ads on normal like and intellectual stuff. It is because they have seen that Nigerians are so easy to, you know, thank you for that one. To manipulate. So now, instead of them pushing the narrative, even our algorithms on Instagram, I do a lot of social media management and all like that. So I know about algorithm. Right? Regardless, you're on your own JJO. Maybe your algorithm is channel to work rabbits. Right? The next thing they are bringing is one person or one comedian that is half naked dancing with women and all like that. People are imitating that. So as professionals, let us also try to be in people's face too. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, if I am to paraphrase in one sentence, is an intellectual, let's not be scared of the 21st century and let's ensure that we are also out there. Taking that home. I try that I will do better. Okay, so we have great moments from you because I want to hear from the audience as well. So I have two questions for the audience, and if you just want to answer, please let me know. Do you think that school alone is guaranteed for us to like be successful? If it's going to school alone is enough to be successful. Now let me put it in this way. We've been told to get a second skill. We've been told that we should go into business. Now there's someone like me. I don't really like the buying and selling thing. I love people who do it. I appreciate them for it. But I have tried it and I don't really like business. But I have aunties, I have uncles. I prefer services instead of buying and selling. And I've always been told you need to get something. And I'm like, I'm offering you services. I have different services I offer. I don't need to go into business and stuff like that. We have that conversation inside. That's one. The second one is, do you think school
Okay, so talking about whether cigar success, first of I think there are a lot of factors when it comes to success. First of all, I think it's even to find what we mean by success, right? That's the starting point. So for many people, when you think about success, you more about success in only financial terms. And I think success can be as simple as when you set a particular goal and say, I'm going to achieve that goal. So for example, let's say you want to become a professor, you want to get to the heights of the academia. If you're able to attain that particular success, right? So I think the first step would be to find success, right? And in a lot of ways, many people see success as just financial and how well you're able to accumulate wealth. And I think that's also for because it also speaks to the kind of value system They have programs in place where you can, you know, learn things. And I think another critical thing about the system we fail to understand many times is it's not just about the academic part. There's also another part that has to do with community. So many times when you come, for example, many of the things I was, but I tell people like, I did a 5 years course, I studied law, right? One of the things I learned in the course of 5 years, I didn't learn them in classroom. And there's also the community part. So people come in and you find out your friend, your roommate is a crypto trader, right? You have to come in and be like, oh, this person is going to is a back-end developer and processing. So there's also a place where the community helps to get better and be able to translate these things to things that they can, add that can add economic value to your life after they use you. So that's some of my thoughts.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Nala, very mindful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon once again. I really want to appreciate the author for coming this kind of huge project. I am expecting this kind of thing to be streamed live. Sure. So that dismissing live actually. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so you can just use camera.
Okay. So to me, actually, when it comes to education system we have, especially in this country or in Africa rather, does not guarantee success. Anyway, why? Because I would like us to use a simple analogy. This analogy is whereby, please, if we have the statistic of our entrepreneur in this country, then we have the statistic of our professors and all those that are professional in the educational field. Then how there is in a particular way we can weigh them in terms of impact they are making in the society. Do you understand? That will can be able to give you a clear, practical, that is, you can weigh them by their impact they are making in the society between our entrepreneurs as together with our professional and educational experts we have. I would like to look at it another perspective, ladies and gentlemen. Sincerely speaking, this is not just an event on its own. It's serious issue factor that others that if we can be able to do something about it, so that we can have systems in place that can be able to discover that can address our values. That is where I think it's a question of our value. That is where we have a serious issue. It's not a particular education because many of us we don't know exactly something you have a vision for, something that you have a talent that is to earn that will find it value in your society. To me, sincerely speaking, education sometimes become a what you call it, separation with private. That's where I don't know. And we need to look at ourselves. Discover. No, let me drop this point this last thing. Discover ourselves, that's number one thing, and define our goals that we know align with our talent and community, where we add value.
Thank you so much. With that, coming back to the beginning, and it starts with parents. Understanding what your child loves and what your child can do will really help in the long run. So, finally, to the author, what message would you give to young people? Believe that's it's really not necessary because you can see it. It's in all of them. They'll literally tell you, "I'm sorry, I already got it." Don't forget that the insurance better into three. You have the high class, the middle class, and the low class. Who see you? If you have things like that, it's actually and I know if you're speaking to the high class children, they will tell you that many of them already have a job, already. But that's the middle class people can the social media based class people, they are taking it as if they are even hopeless totally. So, what message do you have for them? What message of hope do you have for them? What kind of message would you like to make to them stage?
Okay. Sorry, all the teenagers in the room, especially the ones at the back and the early 20s, please listen, right? Um, the thing is that the first and foremost thing you need to do is to understand what exactly you want. we are in this day and age of social media that we are not new to anything again. There is no new thing that you want to see that has not happened before. Or somewhere, maybe not in the country, maybe somewhere else, right? So it means that, like I said, that social media is now open, right? For everybody to see. Even teenagers have access to social media. So there is no how that you have your lot of information. So I will make a brief story. I love analogies. So yeah, I know that some of you saw it where I posted teenagers in jammies and all like that. Oh my god. So we had about up to over 100 applications, right? And out of the 100, over 60 wanted to become a medical doctor and a surgeon. So it was now time for us to start doing mentorship, like mentor sessions. I intentionally gave like more, we had several mentors. I think some of mentors are here, right? We had how would I say, I asked most of those people who want to study medical doctor in my own track, right? And then I was asking them, "So why do you want to become a medical doctor? What do you see in nursing? What in science class?" And all of them, because I want to save life. Saving life, of course, I'm saving. Am I not saving your life? Yeah, yeah, now. I'm saving life, like, save life. And the reason is because, look, this is it. There is this orientation, right? That if you don't study from something called, you will not make it. There's also this orientation from our parents, and I don't blame them during their generation. School was routine. When you finish school, you are getting a. My dad would say something. He said that, maybe is it primary school, leaving certificate, you already got a job, at the age of two something, you manager, you already driving a car. At that age, then, compare it to this time when the population has grown in a geometric projection, and then the jobs, they are not enough again. People there don't leave, right? Now you need to understand what you want. And that's why I'm doing this movement where I go to schools. One, also speak to teenagers. A lot of them think that as a science student, there are only few courses, medicine, engineering, and nursing. They think as an art student, what you only have is, let's say that one is not your view. They think it's just being a lawyer. Just a lawyer. And for the other student, banker. So, banking and accounting. Now, there is not enough, especially in government schools. And let's be honest with ourselves, not everybody, a lot of Nigerians cannot afford private school. Now, private school, you see career day, you see someone speaking. Government schools go there. There's no career day. There is nothing. So now, these teenagers need a reorientation, a sensitization that, look, as a student, so I created this list then where I listed all the professions in science. They are up to I have more than 60. For art students, I had a lot. Commercial, I had a lot. So like, I don't know that we can study this. So, hey, so I want research about this particular thing and I want learn it. And then some people change their course. From medicine, they change to a lot of course. Somebody wanted not to change those people that study geography or geology. But we know in our minds, right, that if you study geology, what's the point? Wait, and is it rock that they're doing your map? I don't even know. Eh, so I'm so sorry. Children. So we know that that's of course they will give us hope. And we are not giving ourselves hope then. For example, you study history. I'm sorry, you study history, not to shame me. What you want to write, like your museum here, like even museum there, they will employ a school stakeholder to be the session, they will want the person like anybody that comes. There is district discovery museum. When you get there, they are not historians here, they're just normal person that were being onboarded, right? So now we need to start from the grassroots. We need to start from the grassroots. We need every teenager around us. I used to any teenager I see, I think that some of the people are about to testify. I will wonder what was become. Some of them say have become this house, and I ask them why don't you become that? I think it starts from there. We are all taught, right? We are all informed. We have made mistakes. I made mistakes. I thought economics was education. But economics, the fact that economics was it has been pull inside tissue paper and throw it away. Maybe education, yes, makes sense. But then we know that some of us here, we study this course that we are not even doing at all. I have a friend that studied law, he's a cyber security expert. I have another friend that studied medicine, she's a content creator, and so many other things. Now, we can sensitize these children. What do you want before? Is it, do you want to become a fashion designer? Don't forget that there is something called non-code tech. So you don't need to code. I do not code tech. I'm a digital marketer, right? That's what I do as, just to follow that. I mean, follow that, not that they calling me. That's like, yeah, top, yeah, that's my 95, something that I'm looking very difficultly. So, a non-context game. There is cybersecurity. There is 3D design. There is videography. There is photography. Those are test skills. We think they are not test skills, but they are test skills. Now we need to, of course, maybe you want to become a lead, but you have a second skill. Make sure that second skill is something that is scalable. And also, yes, I say something. When you want to study a course, make sure that it is scalable, and employable. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Please come put our hands together. Thank you. So, and I'm pretty sure that we all have a lot of thoughts right now. Please, can we have one house? I can hear voices. Children. Okay, so I am going to leave you with one question.
That's
Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Hello, we are HAPPY. What about you? We are the What's the answer? What is the answer? Governor, Lena, the word, bring that. That's lazy. It's not in this car. Somebody say no. Let's take a look at it. From primary school to secondary school to university. Think about those times you write the assignments, tests, down to your project details. Until you begin here. Submitted to everybody. It's one of the wrong notion we all have about academics also. Is the fact that you think when you go to school, it's like an automatic key for you. So I wouldn't have been able to start in public and speak. But why is it that people that you go to school, they are now all the time talking about artisans, talking about entrepreneurs, talking about content creators. Let's just take a look at from this aspect. Can any of us here fly an aeroplane that is in flight by a pilot that learned how to fly an aeroplane social media? Uh, can you visit the government? I just think what should the government collectively network number two, creating opportunities by yourself. And number three is discovering yourself. I graduated 3 years ago. I have not submit my CV anyway. I've been feeling well, and I'm not struggling. No one has it for me. I discovered myself anyway. Then I pursue it. I got it clever heart. I've been promised it when I was age 6. I've been happy since when I was 9. So anything I've done, I have believe spice with the academics, the knowledge I have in school. So my guidance. And it's making me stand out among people. School not be scam only. It just the how we use it. So if anybody ask you, school na scam, tell people say, tell me school na scam. It's a graduate. What are you doing with the school? So let's say again I want to take us back to that's what I'm learning. So I want you want School now start. You answer me. School no dey start. School now start. School now start. So I have very amazing people that will be joining me here. First question I'll be bringing up on stage, Mr. Lucky. So, and the second question I'll be bringing up, Mr. Tosin. Or then you're welcome, sir. And the next person I'll be bringing on stage will be please. Onua.
And I work with children in the right community, like children who, as a result of them being displaced, they actually have been as class in a life. And in terms of your question, I don't really think they will see it as a scam because them being in that atmosphere, being in that environment, it's like a very threat for them. So regardless of the efforts NGOs, government, and individuals put into ensuring that they don't see it as a scam. They see it as a real privilege because in the situation where they find themselves, there's a little to which they can actually get. So scam in a way is a situation whereby you're expecting something, maybe like a problem or something. But in that scenario, in that situation, they can see it as an opportunity to learn, regardless of the challenges they can find. Yeah.
I see it as more
Privilege.
privilege. I can say this also because, like I said earlier, that I work in a non-profit space where I interface with children who have never even had to use computer. So each time we just come around with computer, it feels like good. It feels like something you can try to tell that this is it. So the next question brings me to Mr. Jeremiah. So, Mr. Jeremiah, can we say that children, Nigerian parents, basically, should they still insist that their children should go and get degrees in university when AI is rapidly changing everything?
when we can usually see that the expectations of employers from employees are grown really high because of the advent of AI. So do you still say that parents should, still enforce their children to go get a.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you also, Adrian Sola, for the opportunity. I see this as an opportunity for people just starting their life to be able to navigate easily. To your question, I've worked a bit in technology, close to 7 years now. And one thing I know technology to be is an enabler. Technology helps you to scale, helps you to build with speed and to cover a large scope. So when it comes to education, I'm trying to clearly differentiate between learning and going to school because they are two different things. Um, the process of learning is what I think is most important in this age of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is cool, it's great. In fact, the knowledge, because I don't want to go into all the technical things, before artificial intelligence, everything was built on a bank of knowledge. So if we neglect that bank of knowledge and we want to say, oh, execution is what we want to see, we're going to lose certain things in the coming days. So, in my opinion, if you have a child, if you don't know what, a lot of parents reach out to me and be like, oh, I know you're doing this, I know you're doing that. What would you advise my son to do? There's this man, he works in real estate, he's an architect, and he wants his son to be an architect because he feels like, oh, this is the one I understand. But his son also wants to be like a cybersecurity guy because he has gone online and seen that, oh, cybersecurity is cool and all. I asked him a few questions and he was not able to answer because he didn't know what it meant to be into cybersecurity. He just loved the name. So what I would say is that school gives the structure to learning, the discipline, the commitment, the foundation that everyone needs to learn. If you make them jump into, oh, AI is available, they will float. There's always going to be a difference between someone that went under structural learning and someone that just maybe just jump on a skill and you're doing well. And we've said it a lot here that the fact that you are making money doesn't mean that you are really doing well because you'd agree with me that most people that work in developmental sector here, execution is not. You need to understand the problem. One thing that school will do for you is it gives you better context. For instance, I study biochemistry. Today, I'm not doing anything related to biochemistry, but that structure, that creative thinking, that critical thinking came from my background in biochemistry. So allow them to study whatever they want to study, but don't, if you have the chance, don't make it too far from the potentials you are seeing in them so that it's not a wasted time. But whatever they study, whatever it is that they study, that environment of structured learning, discipline will create a better context for them to layer any other skill on top of it. But it's best if you know what they are doing already and then you can channel them towards that. If it's AI, then go ahead.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Can we so yesterday I said something about it also. I called it the doorman fallacy. So the doorman fallacy talks about seeing the surface level of activity of maybe an employee, and not exactly seeing other things that those people actually do. And I bring this into context of what he said just now, when he said technology is an enabler, and also that people will begin to make, you know, final decision based on the fact that they know that AI is actually has come to play, but not knowing that there's still some foundational leveling that has to be done. Basically, doorman policy talks about, let's say, doorman in an hotel, he was sacked because they felt like AI has come to take your job. AI can actually always run up. But they forgotten that there's a man that actually remembers every single person that comes in and welcomes them like human. They forgotten that there's somebody that actually remembers how to stop, remembers a phone number of a maybe a Uber driver that can help assist someone who's just coming. No, forgetting that part, but just saying, okay, AI can actually just do it for us. So she said the technology is an enabler. It shouldn't be like, it shouldn't, we should not use that to take away the foundation that is very, very necessary there. So also, going back to the point, wait, so I have a question here. As you can see, our educational system in Nigeria is the best. Let's not say another thing, right? So we have to tell that our children can become anything they want to be, right? But what's your honest advice in this current educational system? What would be your like your sincere advice around Nigeria in this current economy of Nigeria? What's your sincere advice, especially in terms of education?
All right, thank you. So personally, I feel just telling a child vaguely that it can be anything they want to be. Perhaps it might be meaningful to a toddler. Then their imagination runs wild. I have a 5-year-old, and if I ask her today, what do you want to be? She told me yesterday, "Mommy, when I grow up, I want to be a queen." I'm like, okay, you will be a queen. So I feel if you, for that age, the imagination runs wild and you can just let them live in that world. But as a child is developing, you need to qualify that statement. You can be anything you want to be. It's not in its sense wholesome. How can you be what you want to be? So how about you say you can be anything you want to be once you do X, Y, Z, right? So you can be anything you want to be is a statement that I feel it's not complete in itself. So urging a child to be something, to be what he wants to be, you need to plant in that child at that moment that you do not just say you want to be this and you become that. So I feel as an educator, as a parent, especially now related to your question, especially in these times that we're at, you need to ensure that you guide the child because we need to take into context the times we're living in now. If you look at the shifts, first off, we had the labor market, whereby I'm talking about way back, perhaps of 1940s, it was labor market when we had mechanization. Then we now had the knowledge market, whereby you now had the white collar replacing the blue collar. Now we're not having the artificial intelligence age, right? So you need to guide a child. You cannot just be anything you want to be. What if what you want to be in the future is not relevant? Immediately. And also, particularly important, the times we live in now. So you don't guide a child thinking the child will be something he wants to be, and then in future it's not relevant. That's a disservice to that child. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, very friend. School now come. School now come. It's educational system, especially people still wanting to write about. And this happen over and over again. Poor educational learning, shortage of teachers, infrastructure really terrible. Institution in this situation, what's the big way out? Like what can you say is we are what best can we actually make this much greater?
Thank you very much for that question. So I'll tell a little story, quick story. So between 2002 and 2005, so we know that UBEC, Universal Basic Education Commission, is responsible for basic education in Nigeria. They are the ones responsible for policy development and all of that. So between 2023 and 2022 and 2025, they partnered with the Korean government and introduced what was called, or what is called, the smart school, right? And the idea behind that was that every state would have a smart school, and then the second phase would have, okay, so the first phase will have 6 smart schools, one in each. geopolitical zone. Then second phase would have one in each state, 37, and then third phase would have one in each senatorial district, 774 local governments. Yes. Now the idea was that they would see what it would look like for each state in each geopolitical zone to have a smart school. So what's a smart school? A smart school basically is a classroom driven by technology, right? Every child has a tablet and you have digital educational content for each of that child. So every subject, right, is now animated and then is on tablet. So the children now have to, so they're doing dual, what we call blended learning. So you would watch the video, right? And then there will be a physical class. Now, the idea also behind Smart School is that it is now student driven rather than teacher driven. So you know traditional schooling is that the teacher comes to the board and then teaches and then all of that. But in the smart school, the child actually learns before coming to class. And then based on what you have learned, you now ask the teacher. The teacher is now answering the questions. So it's student driven, right? Now, that was a very hugely successful project because I was part of it and I know what went into that project. And for the 6 states that were involved, we had students that were in rural area that never had access to digital technology before, and they were doing amazingly well. In fact, we had what's the name now? Girls in ICT competition that happened last year, and one of the smart schools from Kano, where that school is located in Kano, is called Tada. It's a very remote local area. That school was one of the finalists of all the schools across the country, where we had private schools, we had public schools, and these are public schools, right? So that's showing the success of that project. Now, there was a change in the administration of government. We had a new, somebody new at the helms of affairs at both the Ministry of Education and at the UBEC level. And then they come in and they say, oh, it's a waste of money. Why would we pump in so much money into technology that we are not seeing? And then they are no longer interested. They say, no, we can do smart board, we can do. So the idea basically, and which is what I'm trying to pull out, is that the only way education is actually going to move forward is not the lack of policy. There are several policies that are in place, right? There's the ICT in education policy, there's the digital education policy. There are several policies that are available in Nigeria today. The only missing link is the political will. Somebody that will come in and say, what has been done so far that we can build upon, leverage upon, and then go forward. But we have a situation whereby everybody comes in and says, I want to do my thing. So whether my thing actually makes sense or aligns with what is on ground doesn't matter. I just want to do my thing that I can be associated with this thing, and then every investment and progress goes down the drain because you are not seeing what has happened that you can build on. So once you get political will done, I think our education will actually fall in place.
Wow. I don't want to talk. Let's just go to the next question because it's so sad. Sadness and dealing with cities. And this is giving cascading down. You know, new government coming in. There's no continuation, there's no motivation system structure. And this is really sad. So my next question will be going to Mr. Lucky. Mr. Lucky, I would like to ask, you work in the developmental space, you work with NGO, you had privilege to work with organizations that even first hand had experience with these people actually going through maybe
would I say, we lack of education is important. So I'd like to ask, right? So we see a lot of NGO invest so well in children, getting them to school, each plus something. But when we look at it now, the students would go from the primary school level to the tertiary level. Yeah, it's for this one I want. But now still end up unemployed. So in situations like that, can we say does the NGO bear the responsibility for them, having because or should we say that their own will just end in enrollment and just enrollment? All right, thank you very much for this question. I like the question. So I've been working in the non-profit for past 10 years now, education for the past 7 years. And one of the things we should try to understand is um, if you have an NGO and you want to run a project, there's always several demands. Yeah, you have a problem you want to solve, maybe literacy in a particular community, for example. And understand that there are several components to it because you also have to bring a part of funding into play. And this funding comes from the funders. We most times are not, maybe in Nigeria, and them themselves have demands in the sense that you want to solve a particular problem, but you know that there's another problem, or your focus is on this problem because that's the problem you want to solve. So you have to streamline it because even the funders have demands. If you understand that, you get it. So you cannot actually solve all the whole problem. So one of the things NGOs do is they focus on what they want to do. Meaning, if I carry out an initiative for a period of 6 months, which if you check it on it's 6 months will not go so much. But because the demands of the thing that says do this for the period, you have to still follow that line. So in a way, one of the ways to solve it, and this is me trying to propose a solution to it, is if the government in itself also play a part to say, let's solve this problem together. And I always tell people that NGOs will try their best, they will play their part. And I always tell people who work in this space that you are not Superman because you can really not solve every problem. You can only support the government because that's the responsibility of the government at the end of the day. So just me answering your question is to say that these non-profit are also handicapped in a way because they have a goal they want to achieve, but they don't have all the whole resources to actually carry out solve all the whole problems. So in a way, they are limited because there's financial constraint, and with the funding landscape in the non-profit has actually shrink, especially since the whole USAID funding and everything. So in a way, has also limited the whole funding, and because more funding means more activities can be done, more resources can be put into education. And for education in Nigeria, I feel like the government don't prioritize it enough. And I will say it because this is not allegedly, this is me saying it with my open mind. And because there's a UNESCO scale of 11 to 15% or so of the federal budget and all. But if you look at it, it's not even of Nigeria budget. So I don't want to go there. I know I've been able to answer it. Because before we say come on to shoot in. All right. So my next question will go to Mr. Jeremiah. And I like this question because it speaks into uh even beyond human and AI agents, it speaks beyond that. So say if you had the opportunity to redesign Nigerian secondary school curriculum from scratch, right? Knowing that you know what AI can do, going to be like that. What would you think? What would you do? And what new element would you add to the educational system?
Okay, I think that's an interesting question. I'm not an educator, but I can answer because I think I have foresight into what learning should actually be. Like I said, within education, there's something called learning, and that is the bedrock of education. So all of the structure we put around it is to the end that we learn. The school, the structure, the curriculums, the end that knowledge is passed and sustained over time. So if I, okay, maybe they call me today to one big body and then we give you access to do everything that you want to do to ensure that we have a curriculum that is scalable and that can translate into something in the next few years. Firstly, I won't say that in the next 1 year you should start seeing results because it's going to be over time. You need to put a team of people that actually understand the psychology of learning together. There's a two parts of ensuring that okay, we give people access to the right tools. There's the need for the right content, and there's the need for the right system. When it comes to learning, some of the things that we are losing these days is flexibility. So there's a way we know to learn, like we've known it since when we were young. You go to school, you pass through everything, you do tests, after tests, you do exam, then you get a result, then keep going like that. That's good. Repetition is good in anything. But the core of everything is not repetition. The routine is to keep something going. But the core of learning is not repetition, is an engine. Education should not be an engine. So the curriculum should not be the end of everything. Just like someone said during question and answer session. It shouldn't be, oh, you're learning, you're studying history just so that you can teach people history. It should be at the end of the day, what image are you creating for maybe a country that can transcend that nation, that can position them better for economics, that can position them better for different things. So that way you're always futuristic in your thinking. If you studied let's say looking for maybe law now, or you're in the legal profession, like a lot of lawyers now are out of job, there's no job to do. But I think there's the opportunity for those doing law. You can start thinking of, so in their curriculum, it's going to be more of not just, oh, this is what you do when this happens, this is what you do when this happens. There has to be specialization, there has to be niches. You have to drill down to our problem. So every curriculum has to be targeted towards one problem or the other, and it has to be native. Before now, maybe we copied curriculum from Europe. It's not going to work. If you're copying curriculum from Harvard, I was watching a video from Harvard yesterday. The guy was talking about how they need to consistently update their curriculum. As things are changing, you're updating curriculum. There are things that have been automated now. Like I think Sola was saying that you're doing maybe information systems, and then you are teaching Microsoft. Even the Microsoft guys, they don't have that. I'm sure they don't have that content anymore. So we are looking at it from a place of let's just do it. It's a routine. We are supposed to look at it from place of okay, we are solving a problem. So if there's no, we have not identified the problem to solve, don't teach anything. If you're teaching, if your curriculum is not targeted towards a problem that is native to us, there are things that are global, there are things that are local. Right now, there should be more curriculum targeted towards okay, how can we build a system around security, cyber security, physical security, how to solve the problems that native to us so that we can get jobs. Right now there are no jobs because the problems we are solving are problems from 1990. So we need to create curriculum that are targeted towards our problem, and then that way there will always be job creation because people have things to do. And with technology as a layer on top of it, um, there's need for learning agility. People need to be able to sit down and learn things and actually focus on it. There's need for flexibility. You can't sit down with old things. You need to evolve. That word evolve is one thing that should be in this day and age. Evolving, being flexible, you pick up something. It's faster to learn now than to any degree. Like your degree is good, but you need to keep upskilling. You need to keep upskilling. That's what I would say to that.
Very much. That was really awesome. You said something that was key. Said our problem solving skills should be more targeted to make very native. And everyone this time and age should be very, very flexible. I think there's a thing I came up to like what I would do. Every weekend I learn about a new AI tool, a new one. So I learned about AI tool that I used to make music. Just if it's a music, create. I do that every different today I learned a different one from here. So literally because that flexibility is what keeps us on the top of our game. So, sir, Mr. Tosin, my next question will be going to you, right? So, this question says that Nigerian parents often encourage their children towards to get these certificates as form of for security, job security, for stability sake, right? But we all know that certificate don't guarantee
stability, it doesn't guarantee future. And so, and this has mean that the conversation between the parent-child conversation has evolved. And I would like to actually want you to speak from this perspective of as this, this getting a certificate to not really guarantees future, right? How do you think that conversation that happened between parents telling their children, this is what I want to study, this is this, it has evolved. How do you think it should now come now? Basically. Okay, thank you for that question. And it's because of that particular question that I'll say school now scam. Yes, school now scam. And school now scam because we were lied to that the degree equals to security or future. And that's why a lot of us went in there believing that once I get a degree, there's a job waiting for me, there's a future ahead of me, there's something that is waiting for me that secures me. And that's why a lot of us went in there. So you remember that when we were in school, you would have uncles and aunties that would tell you, just graduate and send your CV. You understand? There was a roommate of mine that almost became suicidal because when we were in school, his uncle was in CBN and he was a senior staff of CBN and he was telling him, just finish, just finish, I will bring you in, right? And this guy was slaving and killing himself and saying that let me just finish with the 2-1, right? And then he graduated and there was no job. He waited at home for close to 6 years before he went to pick up a teaching job. So when you think about that kind of a situation, you would definitely come to a conclusion that school has come. Because I've gone in there, I've done what I'm supposed to do, I've come out with a certificate, I've come out with a good grade, but I don't have anything to show for it. And that's where I think a lot of parents get it from. Right? We tell our children to go into school, get the good grades, come first position, come out with a first class, come out with a 2-1, right? And then the child is doing everything that he can to achieve that. Not knowing that we are actually selling them a lie. What we need to be teaching our children is that the essence of going to school is not to get a certificate, it's not to get a degree. There are certain things that a child is supposed to go to school to get. Critical thinking, empathy, leadership skill, ability to relate and work with people, right? Collaboration, right? These are things that school is supposed to teach us and integrate into us. Because that is what makes us come out of school and become useful to the society. It's your ability to have critical thinking that allows you to go out there and innovate and create and invent. We have a lot of graduates that are first class students, that are 2-1 students, that don't add value to the workplace environment. They don't know how to take initiative, they don't know how to think on their own, they don't know how to, you have to keep staying on them to do things, and you're wondering how did you person become the first class? If the office is there, he's not doing anything. You have people that do wonderful projects and they come out of school, they can't even innovate a single thing. Computer science graduates that don't even know how to put on a laptop. How much more to write a single line of code? And that's because that's what our educational system has taught us. Go out there, come out, to make it worse. Right? I was telling you, there's this thing that I always make fun of. We had about 3 or 4 people that graduated 2-1 in my class, computer science. So there's this particular lady that graduated with 2-1, right? Today, every time you see her, She's posting content from one club to the other, traveling from one place to the other. And in your head you're like, my God, you mean you are wasting the 2 1 that people were people were slaving to get. They're not doing one single meaningful thing with that knowledge. They are the ones that graduated with 2 1, that got federal government scholarship, that they are not doing anything meaningful. Because we were told that just go there and get the degree. So for me, I would say that for every parent, what you should tell your child is, or what you should be looking out, your child's result. It's not the position. Okay, there are other things that they are evaluating, psychomotor skills, collaboration skills, how listening skills. How are your children preparing in those other areas? Because your child might not necessarily have that IQ to come first, but he has skills, leadership skills. He has, and that you can actually develop for that child. So for me, what you should be looking out for your child is my child collaborating with other classmates? Does my child have critical thinking skills? Does my child have the ability to have empathy? Right? Because those are the things that actually matter on the long run. That's why even those that graduate with a third class and a pass succeed in life because they have those skills. And that's what makes the difference at the end of the day when you get out.
Thank you very much. All right, so this is like the final question before asking the audience for question. So if you have a question, you can just start noting it down, pass it to my. All right, Mark, over to you. I would like to ask you, so there's a growing trend in where we say that we use in edtech. There's a growing trend around the fact that edtech is like supplement to formal education. So we say that rather than replacing, or it's more like a rather than being like a replacement. So does this actually reveal the level of trust young Nigerian place in traditional educational system? Yes, does it I said that what does so let me go over the question again, right? So there is a growing trend where students use edtech as a supplement, like somebody studying law, now doing data analysis on the side, right? Rather than replacing it or making it a clear alternative, especially when they are still in school, right? So, what does this reveal about the level of trust young Nigerians place in our own traditional educational system?
All right, thanks for that question. Looking at the traditional system, you'll discover that there are systems and structures in place to make it seem superior. Let me cite an example. If you're looking for a job at the moment, most likely they'll ask for a certificate. For most of it, after asking for a certificate, then they might not ask for a certification. Even when, in some cases, the certification should supersede. For some courses, certification should supersede. But even when it should supersede, they'll say, oh, do you have a certificate? So that's first like a labeler to find out how to, remove the good ones from quote and unquote the bad ones. So what is your foundation primarily? That's what they are asking. Another system you have is for some of us here that have attempted the Japa trend. You will discover that when you go to West, they don't ask you what is your which one now Coursera. They don't acknowledge Coursera. They don't acknowledge each other one. No, they will ask you. Yes, no, you then no, they don't acknowledge. West will ask you for your what? Your certificate. So you look at it. If you go to immigration, so they will ask you for your certificate. So I think the level of trust that Nigerian youth have in the traditional mechanism is because of the systems put in place to make sure that they look superior. Let's give an internal example now. You see the BSc and you see the OND, there is some form of superiority people give to the BSc. But if you look at the intention of the polytechnic and you look at the intention of the university, you will see that both of them are actually unique in their own criteria. They are meant to stand on their own. A polytechnic is meant to achieve the aim of technical and vocational. A university is meant to be knowledge based. Polytechnic is skill based. But what do we have? Oh, do you have a BSc? Or is it OND you have as an ordinary certificate or HND? So there is just this belief system that I feel is faulty. If the belief system is changed, and if the systems in place, like I just mentioned, if you want to Java, they will not ask you for your Coursera or Udemy. They will ask you for particular ones. So I feel these structures and this belief system are what is driving. But in as much as these things are driving, there is a shift if you look at it. We have the open and distance learning. So the open and distance, the ODL learning came into place and it's becoming more and more acceptable. If you go online now, I'm sure in a day you cannot be online and you've not seen a Miva advert. If you go online and you don't see a Miva advert, raise your hand. It's not possible. I wonder how much they are investing in their adverts. And things like this are actually making youth, young Nigerians to know that you can actually have the online learning. And then there's another shift taking place whereby the online learning is no longer supplementary. You now have like on Coursera, you've always had it on Coursera, you have universities partnering that their BSc, their MSc is now fully distance learning. So I feel the open distance learning is there to bridge gap. Although, in summary, these systems, these structures, and the belief system need to be addressed. Once these are addressed, then you now see that people will have hope. People will have, I mean, if you study accounting, you know that being chartered supersedes that certificate. So ask, are you chartered? But even at that, they'll still want to see your certificate. So I believe if we're more welcoming to the certifications, and if these certifications and this, should I say, platform, learning platform, EdTech platform, if they also retain their own credibility, because there is something about credibility. At the training institute where I work, we work with the World Bank and we run programs. Last week, I had a conversation with someone, and what he said was really heartbreaking. He said, "Oh, his company actually wanted to recruit, and they wanted to recruit from a program by the Ministry of Communication, Innovation, and Digital Economy. I'm sure we all know that program, but I'll not mention it. They wanted to recruit, and they got 20 people. And out of the 20 people they got, they did off the 20 in 1 month. What does this say? That's actually a supplement. That program is actually meant to open the gap. Those that want to learn tech skills, those that want to upskill, those that want to pivot and do something else. But when you get testimonials such as this, do you really think that people will want to downplay the traditional educational system? So I believe all of this needs to be in place, working hand in hand, and perhaps in the nearest future we'll see a balance between both. Thank you.
So I can only take one question. Do we have any? Just one question. All right. Just come closer, man. Come closer, man. Just one question. If I can.
And that's it concern. You know, we are in a world whereby our children are getting to see that content creation is making a lot of people more money. And when I mean content creation, I mean live streaming. Everybody in Nigeria know Pella. And we know that that guy, go to school and is making a lot of money. And a lot of, he's not just keeping it to himself, it's splashing it on our faces. Everyone is talking about it. That is one. And the second question is this. Now, there is a new thing that parents now do when it comes to open university. I would like to know, when one of our speakers was speaking, he said that school is meant to teach us critical thinking, help us to build team building and all of that. Now, when we now send our 18, 17 years old to open university, not allowing them to go back and rewrite their JAM for conventional university. Now, we have a lot of young children, sorry, young adults, 18, 19 years old, where they, some don't even write JAMB, or maybe they just write JAMB once and they fail, they go back to pick open university form and they graduate at the age of 21, 20, they are telling you they are not a graduate. Please, what do you think? For me, I think it's a pandemic that is waiting in the future. I would like our panelists to please educate parents, because I'm sure a lot of people will still see this after today's, yeah. So I would like to know your mindset as a specialist in this area. Thank you.
That's an awesome question. All right. So, sir, I wanted to answer one of the questions. Answer one of the questions. So, which one? Okay, so so question is how do we form our children to not assume that content creation is the way out or is a career because it's money making, so to speak. And I think for me, okay, so let me try and articulate this properly. The most important thing is this, that it's just like football. Okay, let me come from that. It's just like football, right? It's not every footballer, or it's not every child that has a potential, that has practiced and has the skill, that goes to the football field every Saturday morning, that breaks through and becomes a superstar, right? It's not all of them. Even the ones that played at 8th grade competition, the 17, under 13, and all of that, it's not all of them that break through into the senior team and have a successful football career. So it means that it's a game of chance and luck, so to speak. It's not everybody that is into content creation, because I know that there are several other people that are doing live streaming and all of that that are successful as this person that we have mentioned. So and that's why you are the parent. You have the grace to be able to nurture that child, and that's why that child is in your control. You must give that child that backup, so to speak, backup opportunity. And that's why that child has to go to school. Because yes, you may have the flame for content creation. Because I know there are a lot of young children that have YouTube channels now and they're creating their content and all of that. There's no guarantee that all of them will monetize and become hugely successful in that. So what you need to do is to give or train that child to have the staying power. And I think that's one of the things that is missing in a lot of younger generation today. A lot of them don't have the staying power to be able to stay on something and be there and organically grow in that thing. So you stay here, then you go on to the next big thing, you move. Next big thing, you move. So as a parent, you need to teach your child to have the ability to stay on that thing, which is his education, until something comes out of it eventually. Thank you very much for that. All right, I need you to also answer this.
Okay, the second question. All right, the second question is about how young adults, that's teenagers nowadays, they do not wait, they write jump and then they pick the form and then they're just going to school early, graduating early. For that, I would say that everybody is unique in their path and in their personality and in their development, both emotionally, both physically, and all of it. So the mere fact that someone is choosing to go the route of open distance learning is actually not bad on its own. But now the question is that really what that person wanted to do? So you need to, as a parent, as a guardian, you need to try and educate this person to avoid regrets in future. Yes, I know that there's several talk about most of us not doing what we actually read in our first degree. But at the end of the day, there ought to be a convergence of knowledge. So if it is really far apart, there might really be not a way how you can marry it. So what I'm saying summarily is that open distance learning, it's not bad on its own. going to the four walls of a university to learn, it's not bad. But if that person actually wants to pursue a path and it's not available in the open and distance learning, then perhaps you can try another route. Unfortunately, the number of institutions we have in Nigeria is not enough to service the number of Nigerian youth willing to go to school. It is not enough. So there might be some form of wait period. There might be some form of wait to actually achieve that. But you need to look at this critically. What is important to that person? Is it time? If it's time, then you can pursue open and distance learning. As a person, I do not have anything against open and open distance learning. It is actually complete in its own self. And for the age, people are unique, people are different. Maturity differs. You could see someone with a level of maturity and the person is young. And you see someone old and the person doesn't have that relevant level of maturity just yet. Yes, it is believed to say that when you're in a set age, like you spoke skills, so institution will encourage all of that. Curriculum of business, most of them are cases for what is somewhat quote unquote missing by being amongst persons. You have leadership skills, you have project management skills that they take throughout the course. So I would say that everybody has a unique path and it doesn't have to be the same for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This has been a very, very insightful conversation. We have someone here who just having 30 seconds contribution. 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Thank you so much, moderator, for this opportunity. I actually sat back there and wanted to just listen and learn from others, but I just kept getting this prompt to at least share my own part of the story. I want to thank every panelist for the contribution. I met Miss Dr. Adeli Sola when she came to my school, when she was wrapping up her master's in educational administration and planning. So she came on an internship for just a few days, and that was where we got to meet. And she had to visit my office where I function as the vice principal. That's Blowing Ages Academy, Abuja. Why I want to share this brief story is to encourage teenagers and young adults who are here in this room and those listening to us out there, because I know this program is being live streamed. So my name is Alan Ibrahim Alpha. First and foremost, talking about certification, because some of the panelists talked about it. I want to advise every young adult, if you have the opportunity to gather or to bag as many certificates as possible in any field of endeavor, the highest peak or zenith you are able to get to, please do. Because there are some places, there are some, areas you cannot go in this part of the world, especially in Africa, without your certification in any area, whether professional courses, self-trained and other online or offline courses, or even conventional schools. I say that because I've experienced it. Without certification, there are some places you will not get, attention. You're processing admissions locally and internationally. You go to the airport, you go to to the ministries for a job, you go to NGOs, you must go through certification and documentation. Then secondly, I also want to say for the current generation and the trendy generation, you cannot do alone with your certificate. I just want to build on that. I have a 3-year-old daughter who I'm already observing the skills she's displaying. She likes to dance. She dances very well. I'm wondering where she learned it from. She also likes to organize the house. Like, I mean, organize. She likes to arrange things step by step in such a way that it will capture your attention. She likes to try her hands on many things. She likes to connect chargers, phone chargers, even though I try to guide her because of electrocution. So I'm already seeing more than 5, 6 different skills. So I told myself and I told my wife, I would enroll this girl for a music school or academy, just in case dancing might be a career path in the nearest future. Not like she will not go to a conventional school and acquire, certificate for a white collar job. But there are other blue collar jobs. So I'm seeing dancing. I'm already seeing hands-on skills, which is turning towards engineering in a way, and so many things. So because of time factor, I'm just trying to say you have to now combine both certification and certification. That's from what you can do with your hands. Because today, the salary paid jobs they take home does no longer take us home. I am a zoologist. It doesn't take us home anymore. You can't depend on one source or one stream of income. So personally, my personal story now, I'll use this to end. I studied zoology as my first degree, even though I wanted to study medicine and surgery back then. I wrote JAM twice, but didn't make it. I had to go through remedial science the third year, and eventually I got into the department of zoology because it's the closest to medicine. And to that, because that's what we were told back then at the University of Jos. I know this story will cause some form of laughter, and that's why I came out to share. It was, we were told that it's the closest to medicine at the time, and we have to just take it as an option because we didn't want to go back home and still come back. Haven't waited 3 years to get admission, wrote JAM twice, then went through remedial sciences for another 1 year. So the long and short is that today I practice zoology, and I'm happy to be a zoologist, even though I didn't get my earlier choice of course. I practice hydrobiology and fishery in my very compound as a side job, apart from being the vice principal of a school. The teaching profession does not pay enough. Sorry, okay, let me just for now. Moving on, I had to go diversify into education, and I studied masters in education and administration and planning, just like she did. And that's why we met at my school. Coincidentally, we schooled in the same university, National University, and gained admission. Then I moved on to PhD in psychology and counseling. And today, I'm not just a zoologist, I'm a coach, I'm a mentor, I'm an educationist, so that you don't put your eggs in one basket. So, summary, combine certificate and certificates. Thank you so much for joining.
This has been a very insightful conversation, and I would like to thank every single of my panelists. It's really a privilege to have this conversation with you. We say, so I would like to ask you a question. School now scam. I can't hear. School now scam. School now scam. Please give this everyone.
Moving to book reading right about now. So enjoy. Thank you. Well, his name is Dr. Adedeji Ademefo. So he's going to, of course, he has gone through the book. He's also the editor, so he's going to talk about the book they need for largest thing. So let's enjoy.
Can you Yes, I'm using earpiece. Can you hear me? I can't hear anyone from there. Please confirm if you can hear me. If you can hear me, good day, everyone. Thank you so much, and congratulations to the author. Permit me to call her Dr. RETA, Dr. Aderinsola Ademefo. Thank you very much for Thank you very much for coming for the. Have a great weekend. Can you hear me? Please confirm you can hear me.
Okay, so we've heard from the editor, and I believe that we've been able to learn one or two things today. So I want us to just share our insight on what we've learned today. Just one or two things from audience, aside from the panelists and the moderator. So you just share one thing you've learned from today's event. Any volunteer? Okay. Should I just assume that we understood everything that we have shared in today's event? Yeah. Okay, so we'll go into the book launch right now. Over to you.
Okay. Once again, good evening, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Um, let's just say amen or good evening. Okay. I hope we've all been having fun and we've learned one or two things this evening. As for me, I learned a lot. And I'm just wishing my unborn children, I'm wishing them well because I know what to do right now. I know what. Please, I'll be inviting some set of people in our midst to join me here. The first person I will invite here is is a great person and is a father to the author herself, a brother, an uncle, and a father to the author. And so I'll be calling my daddy, Mr. Ademefo. That's our uncle. Thank you very much for clapping. Thank you for clapping. Thank you. Thank you. See one thing about the Ademefo, then they read for that side of it. And they read, and they show. It's a different thing to read, to study, and to show. That's part of it. That's God's seed for you. You don't just come forward. I'm learning a lot. Then also, I'll invite you. You know, one good thing is to marry a good wife. Because when you are not there, you know, I mean, she will take charge of a lot of things. I'll be inviting the First Lady herself, Mrs. Ademefo. I will not say junior or senior, everything. So please, let's keep on clapping. I love people. I love celebrating people. If you've been in my event, any event out, I love celebrating people. Thank you. Thank you. She also has a lot of degrees. HA, PhCN, ABEGC, and a lot like that. Also, I'm inviting my own father, my uncle, the brain box himself. Men dey inside this room. We fit no pass two, but men dey here. No be one wey dey wear beret o. Men sha dey here. Join me as I make one for my own uncle, my father. I will not add Mister. I will not add anything. Tosin Odedele. When they talk, you go know say play again. We don collect someone. People sabi now. Okay. They play. And also the wife, yes. The wife, yes, yes. Please let's keep on clapping. Let's celebrate that woman. Trust me, if you see any great man, and the man is still great, celebrate the wife. If I did not know about anybody, I know about Delilah. Samson was powerful, and Delilah did a lot of things for Samson. Who is that? Oh. So thank you. Celebrate that once again. By their clothes, you shall know them. People get money for you at home. No be regular they dey do for you. We have some of our sabi aunties here as well. The aunties of the author. But before I go to that side, I will invite my own brother, my dad, one big man in our midst. Hello, Anas. See this brother. You know they invite am go beach, na just e go just dress. Something simple. Àwọn Yorùbá yé le. Ọlọ́run ṣàánú. any type of car, you can meet him. So, sometimes I may walk up. Because you will sabi aunties here. I have my auntie, the other. Okay. Hello, Mercy, as well. Nine mountains. Hello, Mercy. Those are the over sabi aunties here in our midst. I'm inviting also Miss Olufemi Yanu Olua. Nine mountains. They play. Okay. Nine mountains. Also, one of the panelists is also here in our midst. It's good make you dey lis ten. I been dey lis ten to the content. I no lis ten to the people wey dey talk am. My father, I am sorry. I am vain. Please join us here, my father, sir. Clap for him. See, I don learn a lot of things today. Very good. The author, please let me know if I'm missing anyone. Okay. My father is here as well. He's on the media. He's on the camera. No be by this thing. You go lunch. Oh, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of people joining us live. We should have had them physically here, but I want you to actually know that we are not alone here, and that people have joined us online. So a lot of people are watching us in Abuja and outside Abuja. In fact, as a matter of fact, the person that spoke to us the other time, Dr. Ademe is viewing from Senegal, and we have a lot of people like that as well. So to cut it short, this book here, School na Scam. The School na Scam. We want to distribute this book, this artwork here, to a lot of schools. For as many that knows the author, I will not lie to you. This lady likes teenagers. She likes youths. And she wants them to actually evolve. Like, she wants to help a lot of problems that many people who are in their late 20s today face. So she's trying to actually help all the teenagers. You can see some of them here, the young youths. And please, we want to really launch this and distribute to secondary schools as much as possible, even university. So I want you to know that all your money, all the money you'll be, because it's an investment, all the money you'll be putting together here today is not a waste. And she know dey buy clothes. As a matter of fact, Dr. Rita, she dey sell clothes. She go just hold am. So that's it. Also, just been informed that one of the Obasabi aunties here, I don't say no be wedding we dey do, but Ewa Dasi Tolong, the youngest Yahweh is in our midst, Mrs. Esther. Please let's clap for her. Thank you very much. By their clothes you shall know them. And get money. Mrs. Ojo, very good. Weekday. This is week. It's even for week. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be handing over the mic. Please, in shocking, just one minute, everybody. I will start from my right hand side. They said, see, it is the biggest masquerade that leave the courthouse last. And this is as far as I am concerned, this is the father of the author here. So this is the big masquerade having here. So I'll be starting from this side. Please, once again, I'm begging and I'm pleading on behalf of this author. See, there is Ola. I was very tired. I'm not supposed to be here. But she loved young youth. She loved teenagers. And I can assure you, more than 20 schools. We will reach out to more than 20 schools in Abuja. I don't know about outside Abuja to distribute this book. Because many of them, they already have that notion that school has come. And we have a lot of things embodied inside this thing. Telling us that school is not a scam. I'm a testimony. So I'm starting from this side. You mention your name,
just in shocking and probably just one line shout out to the author, then you give us the amount you are launching it with. Please, I need an usher here. Somebody with a pen and a Bible. Then I need account number. Everyone who knows me, I've anchored a lot of events. I don't like undisclosed to some extent. But if you're undisclosed, be sent right away. Because you see, a lot of people have mentioned in university, undisclosed, can be mentioned and pass. Till today, I never paid. My name is Olaiwola Olabaji. I'm launching this with an undisclosed amount. Thank you. So let's encourage her. I know the way country is, and this is very bleeding. Let's encourage her. God is blessing us. God is helping us.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Lucky, and first of all, congratulations, Dr. Rita, for this amazing work. Probably before now, in my head, I was thinking that this book should actually go to secondary school. So I don't know, I actually decided to. So, for my own part, because I'm not a politician, I, I would donate 5 books to one of the schools in which to be sharing across to them. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So no amount. Yes, with that. Thank you very much.
What is better? Everybody wants can afford or MC are short. I know. But don't say I brief or I get problem. You don't matter. Wait a minute.
No, don't worry, I will.
No, no.
You don't worry.
Father.
So,
Okay. So to one of the oversabiantes, this is the oversabiantes, theme. And get on you, know the over issue. Okay. Sorry. Everyone. Okay, first and foremost, I didn't really that I'm super proud of all of this is put together. There is one thing you know for me is that I always appreciate every reason or every opportunity, people educated, and I feel like this is one very, glaring application of that. So I celebrate you, I celebrate what you've been able to do with this, and I say just orange. I'm sorry, I mean, it's all right, so lunch book. So, how much is the book going for? Okay, 7,500 naira. Just 7,500. Yeah. Okay, so we are hoping that the Lord helps us and enlarge our faith beyond this. But for now, I'd love to launch the book with 3,000 naira. Please a round of applause, everybody. Thank you very much, Mrs. Ojo.
I would also love to learn the book with 20,000.
Oh, she's a preacher. Woman of faith.
And everyone, I just want to say, Dr. Rita, we are so proud of you. I'm personally proud of you. And thank you for this, for bringing this dream alive. It is marvelous on our side. May God continue to inspire you as you have motivated us. So, on behalf of myself, I'd like to launch the book with 20,000 naira.
So we are done with the segment of the Obasabi auntie. You cannot go because we still snap picture with this author. You see this my daddy here, my brother, my uncle here. Yes, man, no louder. Should I talk? See, very simple. Down to heart. Down to heart. My father, man, that's very gentle.
Good evening, everyone. Dr. Rita used to be my colleague, and I used to call her the most podcasting person I've ever come across because she does a whole lot of things so consistent. Sometimes I used to tap on my days. I'm like, how do you do all this without losing the energy and the vibe? Because I know how tired you have to be.
But she is able to actually make you all proud. It's a different thing to see this book now in a student's hand, a secondary school student, and you beat your chest. There is alcohol. I'm wrong. So I want you to launch that book with that same capacity and energy. Please let's give them a round of applause. So, over to you. Now the first lady, quick person or dead.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Can I see David's face? If I look at the body Dr. Rita, it's all that I know and oh, righteous people are proud. And we are so proud of what you are doing today. Personally, I used to tell you, I love your energy. I love the way you do things. And today, I just want to say thank you for making the Righteous Sisters proud, for making Mega Youth Family proud. And on behalf of Edge Marketplace Global Services, I will be launching with 50,000 naira.
Ladies and gentlemen, gathering this together. In case you don't know, part of the benefit you will be having here in this launching, she sells kiddies wear. See, you fit get money, let people no know. Na through your children, dem go know that man dey work. So patronize am. Thank you very much for. Over to my daddy, Iggy Iwe.
Yes, so I want to join everyone to congratulate Demisola for this wonderful achievement. If there's something I always tell people is that in your lifetime, ensure that you write it. Ensure that you write it. It's not just you penning down your thoughts, okay? It's you leaving a legacy behind. And in this world that we live in, a book is like your business card that tells people that you are an authority in a subject area. And so I congratulate Demisola on this. And on that note, I launched the book with 100,000.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was edge to the program. Okay, before I give her the mic, I also do an announcement. Yes, so if you're having problem with public speaking, you cannot speak in public, you cannot express yourself, and you need coaching or mentorship on in one thing or the other, to see on that daily is your answer. Yasin. That's all. You see, this woman here, I said something the other time, talking about Delilah and Samson. If this woman is weak, my father, Dr. Ademefu, is gone. But this woman is a strong woman and she's good. God is helping you, man. Lord.
Alright. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sola. I want to say congratulations. Olua, congratulations. Looking at your face. Okay. Congratulations. We are so proud of you. Uh, on behalf of the Ademefu Royal Gunners,
Yes, never
I want to say we are proud of you. Thank you for taking this bold step, pouring out your heart into the book. I must say, when the review was going on, I read few out of it, and I saw some content there. I want to encourage you. This is uh, this is not a stop, a bus stop. It is a beginning. It's a beginning. So we are rooting for you, and as the agreement on behalf of the agreement, we want to support teenagers with 100 copies for training.
Thank you very much, ma. Before I hand over the mic to the big masquerade, Ebulati Kenyi Igbale, my father, sir. You see, you know wear suit. You know wear normal Yoruba native. He's giving Abuja men vibe and they get money. This cap, they get money. My father, I go dey down give you mic. Money. Stop.
Okay, thank you so much. I think in terms of the contribution that has been said, but this is to say we fondly thank everyone, and this is from my father who is not here today. That's a very proud daughter. I'm very proud of everyone to tell you and extend one gratitude for the support all round and say thank you very much and thank you very much. The future is definitely bright. We'll see there and see how we support ourselves. Thank you for coming today.
A different thing to have money, and it's a different thing to know how to arrange words. I'm here because of my father today. So see now, we share. I may take that picture. You hold my father today. So God. Ah. Ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests, once again, I want us to know that every of these everything we are doing here, the amount you've said, I know we all are bigger than that, and we know that it's not because we have a lot. That's why we are doing this. It's the love you have for this lady here. Can you join us here, please? It's because of the love you have for this lady here. And she's not taking any of it for granted. And thank you. I think this is your first book. You've written a lot, but this is your first published. Yes, she's very good. I know her. She have a lot of. Can we come together and we'll take a picture? Please give each and everyone a copy so that we'll take pictures with you. Thank you very much. Hearing congrats is allowed. Thank you. The different thing to have a sister. Our sister is also here. They are here bodily. So what I want us to do now, this brother, you don't have any lunching, you don't go. So let's hold it the way it's holding it. A good one. Let's smile. Person wey go read am go see say no be say una plan, right? Yeah. So for the video, okay, please. Okay, you're not done. Good. So everybody, we are saying school now, scam. So when this is what I will do. You will say school na scam. Now you go shout am by yourself. Everybody will go say if na scam for your own side, go say na scam. If no be na no be scam. So let's go. Adenisola, I know you are a drama person and you will do this for me. Yeah. School na scam. Everybody, no be scam. 1, 2, 3.
Kunaskam, kunaskam.
Sola, just one word for everybody who come here to celebrate you. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming. On behalf of the author, Adenisola Ademefun,
Okay, nobody will go on behalf of me. Nobody will shame me. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. I'm so excited that this actually happened. It has been a week's vision, and so far, I will say that I'm proud of myself, and I'm so excited that this actually took place. And I'm really, really, really appreciate everybody who took their time and those people watching online too. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. For those people who are here, I really appreciate you for coming. May God bless you. Don't worry. You know, this is not end yet. This is not the end of it. The online marketing is still coming and I'm coming through you. And also, in order to, how will I say it? If you are buying for just don't worry, that will be online, that will be said online. Thank you so much. So on behalf of Kevin Eze, he's my boss, my former boss, he's not able to come. He asked me to gift one person a book. So so we are going to be gifting the first guest who actually came today. Rachel, who was the first person that came today? So we'll give the first person who came today. Thank you very much, everybody. Please, you can come take pictures and let's enjoy ourselves. Music, please.
Ibadan. Ọ̀la Ìbàdàn.